Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here, and today I have a layout using my HTKAKWS style, and I am showing you here I have used a cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it was those giant Easter eggs that I cut, and I created each of those Easter eggs as a large shaker, and so I did do that off camera. But it's pretty straightforward. I just went ahead and cut the file and put the acetate down, added my sequins and some foam tape, and backed it with a piece of pattern paper. So that I did off camera. And now I am taking a piece of white cardstock that I did put some gesso on. However, the paper does warp. It definitely didn't keep the paper from warping, but it did allow me to move the color around on the page. So that was helpful for getting the color down that I wanted. And I have no rhyme or reason to how I'm putting the color down. I just want to use this, I believe this is Ride the Tide, which is an Inklings from Shimmers. And so I'm putting this color down first and just randomly kind of just putting color all over my background. And I am going to come in here with some other colors. I'm adding a few splatters that kind of, because my paper is already wet, they sort of bleed and run, which is fine. And so I just wanted to add some interest to the background, so I decided to pull out my mixed media supplies and just sort of play a little bit. So now I've got my blue down. I did let it dry, or partially dry, I guess I should say, and I did want to come in and use a little bit of this Mandarin Mai Tai, which is a colorings from Shimmers. And on camera, it is looking super bright. It's actually not that bright, and it's got a little bit more orange in it in sort of real life when you see it. But on camera, it's definitely reading due to the lighting as a very, very bright yellow, but it's really not that bright. So I do want to add a little bit of that. The reason why I let my background dry a little bit, however, was I didn't want it to turn into green or into too much green. It does a little bit just because of the blue in the background, but once I put that down, I was, however, feeling like the blue that I originally placed wasn't quite dark enough, so I did come in with this Jenny B blue, and I'm going to add some splatters with that, and then I'm actually going to use my paintbrush and actually paint a little bit of the little splatters. I'm going to paint them out a little bit to, again, add just that little bit of darker blue, or make the blue stand out a bit more. So I don't completely cover up the original blue that I created on the background, but I did want to come in with this Jenny B blue just to make the background stand out a little bit more. And there you can see my paper is really quite wet, and so I do go ahead and put that off to the side, let it dry. I put some heavy things on top of it while it dried, so while it did warp, it didn't warp as badly as it might have if I hadn't put anything heavy on top. So now that my background is done, I have my pattern papers. Again, these are all from my HTKAKWS style for the month of June. And so I took this pattern paper here that sort of kind of to me felt like a very Easter colored background paper. And I gutted the center of it so I could use it to map my photo. The branding strip that was on the page, I went ahead and put that. I'm going to put that at the bottom of the page. And then I have some journaling cards from my HTKAKWS style, as well as that piece of pattern paper that was from the background. And I'm just going to use each one of those to mat my photo here. And the photo is of my son, and this is Easter morning, and he has his Easter basket. And so I snapped this picture of him while he was on the couch getting ready to dive into his Easter basket. And so that is why I decided to go with this cut file and the huge shaker Easter eggs. And so there you see I have placed my Easter eggs on the page, and they are going to kind of anchor my photo, two of them at the top and then that single one down to the side. And now I have just a whole bunch of bits and pieces that I pulled from my hip kit that I thought I might use on this page. I don't end up using all of it. I use just a few pieces. I went through the kit and basically pulled out all of the Easter type themed elements. So all the bunnies, all the Easter eggs, or most of them, I should say. And so that's what I'm building up, sort of little clusters here on the bottom of my photo. So this doesn't really have an embellishment triangle or a visual triangle. I really am just sort of flanking my photo with some embellishment clusters here at the bottom, because those shakers really take up most of the space on the page. And I'm toying with whether I'm going to put an embellishment cluster up here at the top. And I kind of forget if I actually went and did the cluster at the top. It's been a while since I created this layout. I've gotten behind on actually doing my voiceovers and getting videos up. I have them done, but I haven't had time to edit them, and so I am trying to catch up. I will probably end up having some of these videos span over into July, because I don't know that I'm going to get them up before the end of the month, so there'll be lots of videos once I get all my editing done. But here you see I'm just taking all of those embellishments and I'm just kind of playing around. At this point I hadn't really decided which ones I wanted to use, and so I was kind of playing around with what I wanted to actually put on this page. And this kit that I'm using had these acetate pieces. I think I end up maybe putting 1 or 2 of them on the page, but ultimately I don't use a whole lot of them. And there you see my page is done, and I think some of my video did get cut off where I would have put down my title, which is basically just Easter basket. But with that, guys, that's going to complete this layout, and these are the still photos, so I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.